iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Welcome in here tonight, race fans. It is Rockingham Speedway night here with the Checkered Flag Auto Supply Scrambler Series, presented by Red Light Racing. Tonight, it's the Mickey's Tax Service 100 here as these drivers get ready to take on, well, right there, Thunder Alley. The Rockingham Speedway is one of the toughest tracks on this schedule this season, and it just happens to come right here in the second round of the playoffs. The first race of the second round of the playoffs, 8 drivers come into the night fighting for a chance to move on to the final 4. 8 drivers enter, 4 drivers after the next 2 rounds will advance to the championship round. Who are those 8 drivers? Well, DJ Anderson is one driver, picked up 4 wins so far this season. Sean Butler, he has 2 wins on the year. Then it's a couple drivers, well, Cole Day, Chris Hammett, Sean Single, James Skelton, Jeffrey Souza, and Max Terriel. Those are the 8 drivers that are all trying to get to the final 4 tonight here at Rockingham, and then next week at Martinsville before we head to the Phoenix International Raceway for the championship race. That's what's up on the docket here tonight, and it's going to be interesting because some of the championship drivers are not here tonight, which means they will have to go to Martinsville in a all-out must-win situation. It is just about time to go down trackside here tonight to get the starting lineup here for tonight's race, brought to us by Mickey's Tax Service. You haven't done your taxes? Well, don't worry. Mickey's Tax Service could get you still pointed into the right direction. Head on over to Mickey's Tax Service to get your taxes done. Your starting lineup, though, tonight brought to us by our friends over at SimBox. Get the button box that will improve your racing by being able to dial in some shocks, dial in some brake bias. Head on over to SimBox to get your custom button box today. On the front row here tonight, though, will be the driver of the number 62. That'll be Ethan Troutman. To his outside, he's back. The adventurer in Pixel 01 of Richard Murdoch will start second. Third will go to Michael Trevarth in car number 2. Here's one of the drivers in the playoffs, car number 4. Jeffrey Souza will start 4th in car number 4. To the inside of row number 3, car number 42, Max Terriel will start 5th. 6th will go to the number 6 of Chris Hammett. 7th will go to the number 86 of James Skelton. DJ Anderson back in 8th. Ryan O'Donnell in a brand new color here tonight in the number 98. He'll start 9th. Shanika Single in car number 11 will start 10th. Starting into the 11th spot here tonight, the 99, the youngster of Cole Day. Then it'll be Zach Mitchell, car number 8, back into the 12th starting spot here tonight. Starting back into the 13th spot, the Beefy Motorsports, the Feeney call, number 38 of Brandon Feeney. Joshua Buckley and Granny Hips Walkers and Canes, number 13 MA, will start back into the 14th starting position here tonight, while starting back into the 15th spot, it's going to be Tim Williams. Rob Higgins, the Cowboy, back into the 16th starting spot, while Donald Bennett is 17th. Kevin O'Brien is 18th. Bob Higgins 19th. And A.J. Watkins will be a scratch, it looks like, currently here tonight at The Rock. That's your starting lineup, brought to us by our friends over at Simbox here tonight. We're ready to go this time, I believe, out of turn 4. Will we turn them loose? iRacing.com. Pace car makes the left-hand turn. Here we go. We're ready to go racing here tonight. The Mickey's Tax Service 100 is green flag racing here tonight at The Rock. 20 cars will storm it into turn number 1. Richard Murdoch is the race leader, and he's a little loosey-goosey out of turn number 1. That allows the number 62, the Wendy's Biggie Bag entry there. Troutman to the outside. Trevarthen going to dive down to the inside. 3-car battle for the race lead. Lap number 1 will go to the driver of car 01, Richard Murdoch, to the point here tonight. So Murdoch leading lap number 1 here tonight at The Rock of the Mickey's Tax Service 100. See all these drivers. 1 car way out of shape. That was going to be James Skelton. Him in the 2-cent single number 11 entry, making a little contact. They made the contact. They're all right. There you see the 86th Flowertown Animal Hospital, number 86 of James Skelton. Holds on to it. Shanika single in the Nickelodeon. Believe that's the Rocket Power. On the left-hand side of that car, there you see the number 11 of Sean Single back there into the 10th spot. Hanging on to her right now. Murdoch is the race leader. He'll come back around here. He'll lead another one. The battle, though, is just behind them. There's the 6 machine of Chris Hammett. There's the 4, the Stand Analyzer entry. A couple drivers in the playoffs battling. One driver going to make a bid to the inside wall. That was Ryan O'Donnell. Talked about Ryan having a brand new paint scheme on that car here tonight at the Rockingham Speedway. There you see him. That is Orange You Glad. You heard that right. Orange You Glad. Well, Ryan O'Donnell is glad right now that he did not scrape up that Turbo Dork Radical Paint Century, as he'll get around the number 38 of Brandon Feeney down the back straightaway. There you see the all-gold liquid motley, the Feeney call entry of Brandon Feeney. One driver down on pit road already. Something possibly happened to Kevin O'Brien. There you see the 184. Not sure what happened to the driver out of Australia, but that car looked like it was underpowered, and he came to pit road. So Kevin O'Brien down on pit road here early. Battle for the race lead, though. Here comes the number 2, the BK Paints Rev Esports number 2 of Michael Trevarthen. Trevarthen trying to get it done here tonight. Trevarthen getting knocked out of the playoffs last week. Did not make the round of 8. He was in the round of 12, but not here into the round of 8. Ethan Troutman right there. Also, he's another one of those drivers that got knocked out of the playoffs last week, the number 62. After going all year, finishing on the lead lap, completing the most laps of the season, he was knocked out after a couple bad rounds in round number 1. See that number 1 of Murdoch. He looks like he continues to get tight down in turns 1 and 2, and that allows the number 2 of Michael Trevarthen to get to the inside. Will he be able to complete the pass? He will. Pass going to be completed here. Second leader of the evening, car number 2, Michael Trevarthen, to the point. Chris Hammett continuing to use the outside lane here to try and advance his position. So we see the inside work. One car was sideways out of turn number 2. That was the number 8 there. Zach Mitchell, driver out of Minnesota. The Gold Bowling Ridge DPC's 4X Racing, number 8. The Ford Mustang was so out of shape, he'll lose a spot to James Skelton. And now here comes the 2-cent single Nickelodeon Shanika single entry. Oh boy, look at Zach Mitchell. You want to talk about a handful and holding on to her here tonight. That car is so out of shape. I don't even think a bowling ball would save it at this point. So Zach Mitchell dropping outside the top 10 here. He did start back into the 12th spot. He worked himself all the way up to 8 And now he's fallen back here to the, well, now he's battling around DJ Anderson, so put him back into the top 10 now. These positions will continue to change here tonight, just like up here into the second position. There you see the 0-1, Richard Murdoch. There you see the 6, Chris Hammett, side by side. Then just behind them, Jeffrey Souza, Ethan Troutman, Max Tarrant, and James Skellen. Everybody here tonight trying to trace down that number 2, sideways, Chris Hammett. Chris Hammett just told me earlier one of the hardest cars to drive, or actually that was Brandon Feeney and Chris Hammett having a conversation earlier. Both drivers have drove Legends cars. Chris Hammett continuing to race Legends cars down in Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina. He runs those U.S. Legends machines. Brandon Feeney raced the Canadian Tour Legends, and Feeney said it was probably one of the easiest cars to drive, while Chris Hammett says, no, those things were a handful. And then somebody chimed in, I didn't quite see who it was, chimed in and says, no, these NASCAR Cup cars here tonight in Rockingham are some of the hardest cars that they have ever had to drive. Well, of course, here on iRacing. So Hammett back there running into 4th. So 3rd is now going to be the number 4, Jeffrey Souza, the stand analyzer machine, trying to work his way around Richard Murdoch. Murdoch working the outside there on the Adventure in Pixel 01. Murdoch missed a couple weeks this season. He had to go fishing. And of course, his little girls take priority over everything. You see, oh, sideways again, that number 6 machine. Letting it hang out. But Murdoch taking himself out of the playoffs because his daughter had I believe it was a recital the other week, and that just knocked him out by 1 point out of the playoffs this year. He's had one of his best seasons to date, though, here with the series. Has not picked up a win this season, but when you look at his statistics all year long, he's actually trending in a better direction. Just has not been able to break through to victory lane just yet. Across the start-finish line they come this time by. Look at the field as they come. Everybody trying to work into a groove, and it was Michael Trevarthen continuing to lead the way. Kevin O'Brien is the only driver to retire here tonight as he is down on pit road, and he is out of tonight's race. Kevin O'Brien in the 184, the driver out of Australia. A.J. Watkins in car number 95, the driver out of Florida, did not take to the green flag here tonight. Sean Single trying to battle back here, trying to get around Max Terrion, trying to utilize the outside lane. It looks like the outside lane is great entering turn 1, through the center of 1 and 2, but on exit of turn number 2, it just seems like it gets way too tight for that machine, and he cannot keep the power down. And you see out of turn number 4, try to utilize the outside lane once again for the number 11, Sean Single. Just doesn't seem to quite be working here tonight. These drivers, though, are searching all over the speedway to see where they can find the grip, where they can find the speed tonight. We can tell you that all these drivers have been sideways at least a time or two out of turn number 2 here tonight. That is the tricky spot so far here. See, Sean's able to gain on that number 42, get right to the back, just not able to get around Max Terrill. Terrill, that time, a little sideways. Here comes the 11 to the inside. A great run this time down the back straightaway for Sean Single. He'll go to the inside. Max going to go right down on the door of that number 11 Nickelodeon entry. They'll come out of corner number 4, side by side. Drag race to the line. Give it to Max Terrill at the line. Max going to come down. He's going to pinch the 11 contact. Sideways for Sean Single. Sideways for Single, and then one car into the wall there. That's going to be the number 8, Zach Mitchell, getting up into the wall that time out of turn number 2. Cole Day just sitting in between the Hornet's Nest here, the driver of car number 99, the Rockstar Energy Chevrolet. Started back into the 11th spot. He's worked his way quietly up 2 spots here tonight, running in 9th now. Sean Single trying to get back into a rhythm. Ryan O'Donoghue in the Aren't You Glad machine back there. Turbo Dork colors on that car here tonight. Sideways once again, that time out of turn number 2. He hung on to it, though. These drivers already screaming for tires. They are already 1 second off the fastest lap that they have posted here tonight. So a 1 second deficit already here on lap number 23 for these drivers. Everybody wanting 4 fresh tires. Rob Higgins Down on pit road, you can see there's damage to the bush light. Higgins Hill Racing, number 40. The right front toe is definitely beaten and banged on car number 40 here tonight for Rob Higgins. See what kind of night he can continue to have. See the battle here side by side. That is James Skelton working to the inside of Zach Mitchell in car number 8. So the 8 of Mitchell up to the outside there. James Skelton will take that spot. Sean Single still working the outside groove. Cold Day sideways for the 99. Day is going to hang on to it, but the Rockstar Energy entry was pointed to the inside wall at a 90-degree angle. He did bring it back. That independent rear suspension throwing a lot of these drivers here tonight for a loop. And Cold Day just almost went for a big loop-to-loop spin down the back straightaway. Gathered it up, did lose a spot, back to the 11th spot now for the 99 of Cold Day. All clear, though, for the race leader of Michael Trevarthen. He's out front. He is the second leader of the evening. Chris Hammett and Max Terriot still continuing to duke it out. See Hammett working the outside lane. Just not quite able to keep the power down. Thought about taking a swing to the inside, but won't do it. Joshua Buckley having some, I believe, transponder issues on car number 13 here tonight. There you see the battle back here. This is for 13th, Brandon Feeney and Tim Williams. Joshua Buckley just behind them, coming in and out on the server. Williams a couple weeks ago, remember, had one of the fastest cars at the end of the race. Oh, he's going to lock it up. Williams overshooting the corner there, locked it up, went straight into the outside wall. As he looked like he was trying to work the inside there on Brandon Feeney and just smoked the wall with car number 45. Can't tell, is he trying to bring it to pit road here? He might keep it out. That car's still swaying back and forth. You can tell the toe is knocked out of that car. See if the 45 is going to be able to keep it out there, if he's going to have to bring that to pit road. DJ Anderson, Zach Mitchell. All the battles here tonight have been right around the 6th to about the 10th, 11th position here tonight. As this battle continues to rage on here, this is the battle between 8th and 9th. And we'll add Cold Day there because he just cracked open another Rockstar Energy. Mountain Dew Baja Blast entry of DJ Anderson, who picked up a handful of wins this season, 4 to be exact, coming into the night here at the Rockingham Speedway. Always seems to be there at the end. One way or another, he finds his way to the front, whether it's strategy-based, whether it's just pure speed. Here tonight, qualified in 8th, but running in 9th. Cold Day now works the bottom side. The 4X Racing number 8 of Zach Mitchell has been trying that outside lane, and it just has not been working sideways for Mitchell. I thought he was going to get the right rear quarter panel of that 99 of Cold Day, but he was able to keep it off him. And now Zach Mitchell falls back, and it looks like he's going to be the first one to come to pit road. He will. Zach Mitchell to pit road here as he just lost himself outside the top 10. He'll be the first one to now start the green flag pit cycle here on lap number 34. Zach Mitchell will bring his machine to pit road. First one of the race leaders coming to pit road. Will anybody else? Race leaders are into lap traffic. Donald Bennett going a lap down about 3 laps ago. Rob Higgins also a lap down. Kevin O'Brien, remember, out of tonight's race. Problems on the 184. Max Terriot starting to pull back in. Jeffrey Souza and Richard Murdoch. Zach Mitchell still the only driver that has come to pit road. 2 seconds out, though, for the race lead for Michael Trevarthen. Nothing has changed for him. Out to a Monday cruise right now. The 4 of Souza will try to make a move on Murdoch. Not going to be able to make the pass, but your race leader coming to pit road. There is the number 2, Michael Trevarthen, now giving up the race lead here on lap number 38. That will go to Richard Murdoch. So Murdoch back to the point here. Murdoch was able to lead the opening lap before the number 2 got around him. And Jeffrey Souza lead a lap here in the stand analyzer machine. Just seems like he can't get himself off turn number 4. So 2 drivers have come to pit road already. I don't think we can make it to lap number 50 here tonight for these drivers on fuel. And if they can, they'd be giving up a lot of speed out there onto the racetrack with staying out as long as they can. 2-stop strategy may be the way to go. Max Terrell has caught the front battle here. We talked about them a minute ago. Another driver to pit road, though. The number 45 of Tim Williams has come to pit road now. So drivers that have come is Rob Higgins, Zach Mitchell, Michael Trevarthen, and Tim Williams. Best battle is for the race lead between Murdoch and Souza. Murdoch going to go up there and try and scrape some of the flames off the right-hand side of that 0-1 entry. The Wendy's Biggie bag out there trying to shake out the Biggie bag, trying to get the last fry out the bottom of the bag for Ethan Troutman. That was off turn number 2. He got a little wiggle on his shake. Riding on board with the race leader, Richard Murdoch, continuing to lead this train. You need to see how bumpy this track is, and Murdoch into the wall off turn number 4. Murdoch got into the wall. Now here comes the stand analyzer machine to the inside. Just not able to make the pass for Jeffrey Souza. Murdoch made a mistake and left it open there for Souza. Souza just not able to walk through the door. These drivers all trying to make it to that halfway point. Trevarthen, Mitchell, Higgins, Williams have all come to pit road. Everybody else still trying to see if they can make it to the halfway point tonight. Just a short race here tonight at Rockingham. John Single showing a lot of speed in car number 11 because he has already worked himself back up into the 6th spot. Remember, he was inside the top 5, fell outside the top 10. Now he's back to knocking on the back end of that number 86 of James Skelton. They have already made contact here tonight, and we've talked about numerous times how Sean Single and James Skelton, somehow they continue to find each other every week out there on the racetrack, trading paint at some point. This is like watching Denny Hamlin and Ross Chastain on NASCAR on Sundays. And there you see the 86 of Skelton just pulls over. He'll let the number 11 of Single go by right now because he doesn't want anything to happen to that 86 right now. Could be in fuel-saving mode trying to get the lap number 50. So Single now takes over the 5th position, bumping Skelton back to 6th. There's Ethan Troutman. He's running just a couple spots back. DJ Anderson, Cole Day, Ryan O'Donnell, Bob Higgins will bring the Checkered Flag Auto Supply 20-year anniversary, number 30 to pit road. The driver out of Massachusetts now coming down here just shy, 3 laps shy of the halfway point tonight for Bob Higgins. But I believe if these drivers are still out there, they will be able to go ahead and make it the rest of the way from this point tonight. Brandon Feeney brings the Feeney call number 38 now to pit road. There you see him, the Liquid Miley, the Feeney call inside track BK Paints entry. A lot of chrome on that number 38 here tonight for Brandon Feeney. That's a lot of chrome. I hope that chrome don't loosen his moose in his hair. Joshua Buckley will bring the checkered flag all display. Number 13, MA, Granny Hips Walkers and Canes entry to pit road. Pit road getting busy as the battle for the race lead continuing to heat up, and that's because here comes 0-1 Murdoch to pit road. He'll bring Chris Hammett, James Skelton, and Shanika Single will also come to pit road. I don't know if Sean knows that, but there's some slime on the nose of that number 11 machine. A lot of slime. Here comes the next group to pit road. Jeffrey Souza inherited the race lead. Max Terriot right there. They will come to pit road. Cole Day also in the 99, one of the championship hopefuls, coming to pit road here. Only a couple drivers will stay out, and that will be the 62, the Wendy's Biggie Bag entry. Ethan Troutman, the driver out of Tennessee, will now take over the race lead. How far will he push the Wendy's Biggie Bag? And that's right there. He'll come to pit road this time, and so will DJ Anderson. So those drivers coming to pit road. That should turn things back over to the number 2 of Michael Trevarthen. He should have the race lead. Just over the halfway point. Now, here's what I'm wondering, though. Michael Trevarthen came to pit road back on lap number 36, right? So lap 36 out of 100. It's going to give you 64 laps on those tires, where everybody else is going to have about 48 to 50 laps if we go green on their tires. Where will things start to cycle back? As you see the timing and scoring starting to update now. Zach Mitchell, who pitted back on lap number 33. There you see the 4X Racing GoBowling.com entry of Zach Mitchell. He is now in second. He pitted on lap 33, where Trevarthen was lap 36. Everybody else pitted on lap 48, 49, and 50. So a 12-second gap from there. You see the third-place machine of Richard Murdoch to Michael Trevarthen. That is what it is. It is a 12-second gap with 46 laps to go. Will Murdoch be able to utilize those fresher tires, 12-lap fresher tires, to go back and catch the race leader of Michael Trevarthen? This is going to be a great cat and mouse kind of game. Let's take a look when they come by the flag stand this time, and we will see. Michael Trevarthen last time by was a 24.0. Richard Murdoch crossed the line now. He will go with a 23.90. So he is a tenth of a second faster right now than our race leader. We'll see how many tenths he can continue to knock off here on the long run. James Skelton just laid down the fastest lap time of the day, and that is a 23.72. So a 23.72 last time by for James Skelton was the fastest lap time. That time by, he was a second, a little over a second actually slower that time for James Skelton, but there was lap traffic of Rob Higgins in the way. So Max Terriot is 7th, James Skelton is 8th right now. You're watching the closest battle on the racetrack, and that is the battle for 7th and 8th. These two drivers, widely veterans with the series. Two drivers that are very high up on the all-time win list. When you look at the all-time wins, James Skelton comes in 3rd overall on the wins category. 28 wins to his name. The all-time winningest driver, though, is Max Terriot. He's got 45 wins to his name. So two drivers holding 2 of the top 3 spots in the wins total with the series. Murdoch under pressure, though. Here comes Chris Hammett, and there's that number 4 of Jeffrey Souza again. Murdoch just can't shake Souza here tonight. This is the battle for that 3rd position, and oh boy, that was tight out of turn 2. Chris Hammett just slid right up in front of that 0-1 of Richard Murdoch and said, hey, Murdoch, how's the blue oval on the back bumper look of this machine? That was close. You could probably have taken one of my hairs and maybe slid it between those two cars out of turn number 2. Now it's going to be Jeffrey Souza's turn. Can Souza do anything here? Riding on board with the stand analyzer machine. Murdoch up out of the groove. That will help. There you see the 4 now to the inside, but can he complete the pass is going to be the problem. Sean Single is starting to slime his way back into this battle also. He's back there running in 6th. As you saw, Jeffrey Souza, though, did make the pass on Richard Murdoch. So Murdoch, the flames starting to dim here tonight on the 0-1. That car just does not seem to be as dominant as it was earlier on. The Adventure in Pixels entry might be running out of pixels. Remember, it was a 12-second gap back to 3rd. Now it's an 11-second gap. Under 40 laps remaining. I just don't know, unless those tires for Trevarthen really fall off a cliff here tonight. Zach Mitchell has lost a little ground also to Michael Trevarthen, so maybe the tires on Mitchell falling off a little bit faster, a little bit harder than the number 2 of Michael Trevarthen entry. Here comes the slime. Single now to the inside of Murdoch. Just can't get the power down. Big wiggle. Might have been a little slime, if you will. Rob Higgins back to pit road in car number 40. You see the Busch Light entry. The toe has been knocked out a long time ago on that car, so that car's wearing tires. So he'll continue to have to make pit stops here tonight to just kind of chug along to the end of this one. See Skelton trying to make some time up on that outside, and Murdoch's not able to put the power down. Almost right into the back end of that 0-1 was Sean Single. Single will now throw it off into the corner and try and slide up. He will. He'll take that position from Murdoch. So Murdoch now outside the top 5 for the first time here tonight. Sean Single back inside the top 5 after a big slide early on. So Sean Single proving that he has a very fast car here tonight. He told me one of the things about racing here on Monday is it's very competitive. It's very hard to gain positions. It's very hard to win races here on Monday night. But he said at this point, yeah, he's still in the playoffs, but he's just glad to be here. Pressure is off because he's proven that he can at least get this far. One driver coming to pit road. That was the 8 of Zach Mitchell. So Mitchell will come. But Sean Single said there's no pressure at this point. At this point in the season now, he's just here to have fun because he knows he can compete with the big boys. We talked about that interval. There we see the 2 of Michael Trevarthen. It was 11 seconds was the deficit we checked just a little while ago. Well, now we are down to 8 seconds and closing. Michael Trevarthen is trying to get to the end of this one. I don't know if he's going to have to come to pit road. He does not want to have to come to pit road because Zach Mitchell just came there. He is coming out of pit road. He's going to lose 2 laps. So Mitchell loses 2 laps, and here he comes. He can't make it. Zach Mitchell and Michael Trevarthen, 2 of the drivers that pitted, going to have to come back down. So with 30 laps to go, Michael Trevarthen coming to pit road. We're C, the fastest car all day long. Michael Trevarthen now on pit road with 30 laps to go here tonight in the Mickey's Tax Service. 100 here from the Rockingham Speedway. That hands things over. Chris Hammett now is the race leader. He has a half a second deficit over Jeffrey Souza. Sean Single now running 3rd. Max Terriel is sitting there in 4th. James Skelton is 5th. Richard Murdoch back to 6th. Ethan Troutman is 7th, Cole Day is 8th, DJ Anderson is 9th, and Ryan Donnie is currently sitting into the 10th position. So boy, how the script can get flipped. Michael Trevarthen did come out of pit road. He only goes 1 lap down. That's just because of how much of a lead he had here. Let's take a look at the line. This is his first lap back up to speed. Your race leader, Chris Hammett, just came across the line, and he went with a 24.32. So a 24.32 for the race leader, Chris Hammett. And Michael Trevarthen will go with a 23.9, so 0.4 of a second faster, almost a half a second, if you will, for the number 2 of Michael Trevarthen. He's going to have to put down qualifying laps from here all the way to the end of the race to try and see if he can claw back into this one. He is 1 lap down right now. Bob Higgins sitting in 13th is 1 lap down, and Brandon Feeney, who is sitting right there, he just 1 lap down. He's sitting in 12th currently. So just 11 drivers left on the lead lap. That will leave Joshua Buckley as the last car on the lead lap. And there you see him out of turn number 2. He's got a good deficit over the race leader of Chris Hammett right now. So strategy coming late in the Mickey's Tax Service 100, as that's the number 8 of Zach Mitchell. He is currently 1 lap down also. He did just pit back on lap number, I believe it was 66. Chris Hammett, race leader to pit road. Hammett, with 25 laps to go, says, you know what? The tire fall off is just way too much. He'll come to pit road before he loses any more time. It was a 7-second deficit when Michael Trevarthen decided to come to pit road over Chris Hammett. And then, Trevarthen came out of pit road with 4 Mr. Feelgoods. And it was just too much of a lap time deficit. Here comes Shanika Single. He'll give up the 3rd position. So Shanika Single to pit road. Joshua Buckley to pit road. Will Jeffrey Souza come? Souza's one of those drivers that will stay out the longest out of everybody every time, no matter where we're at. I told you he's also one of the drivers that is always going to be hanging around at the end of these races. Now, we saw a lot of these drivers go 50 laps the first stint of this race here tonight. Souza may roll the dice. He pitted back on lap number 49. So did Max Theriault. And there is a good deficit between Souza and Theriault with just 22 laps to go. Will Souza risk it here tonight? You don't have to worry about the fuel so much as the tires. Let's take a look. Trevarthen came by last time, 24.14 to a 24.5 for the race leader. So 0.4 of a second, but just 21 laps to go. They're quick laps here tonight. I just don't know how this one's going to play out. It's not a strategy we normally see utilized here. We normally have about 2 pit stops per race here with the series, but here tonight at Rockingham, it could come down just to 1 pit stop for a couple of these drivers. A couple of these drivers are going to utilize that 2 pit stop strategy. There's the second place machine of Max Theriault. Theriault about a 1/10 of a second faster last time by than Jeffrey Souza. 20 laps to go here tonight at the Rock. Ryan O'Donnell also came to pit road. Sean Single just set the fastest lap of the race. A 23.69 second lap here with just 19 laps to go. Sean Single sitting back in 13th position, 1 lap down. Rob Higgins back onto pit road. Told you about his night, being into the wall. Trevarthen is trying to do everything he can to get back onto the lead lap, or at least be the first car 1 lap down. He's got to go get Brandon Feeney. Murdoch right there. He is sitting into the 5th position. There's the Wendy's Biggie Bag. They're going to be 3 wide down the back straightaway. 3 wide. Richard Murdoch says, yeah, that's not a good idea. He'll lift out of the gas. He'll live to turn another lap. But Michael Trevarthen says, I got to go. Sean Single just set another fast lap. Sean Single is literally turning in qualifying laps here at the end of this race. 23.68. 23.68 second last time by for Sean Single. There it is. Michael Trevarthen will now be in the lucky dog spot. He's got to hope that Cole Day stays on the lead lap ahead of Jeffrey Souza now. And there's a good gap between Cole Day to Jeffrey Souza. Cole Day going across the start-finish line now. Wow, the number 4, Jeffrey Souza, was just down the middle of the back straightaway. 15 to go. Will go up on the board. That's what these drivers will hear. It'll be just 15 laps to go for the Stant Analyzer number 4. A couple years ago, Jeffrey Souza pointed his way all the way into the Final 4 and came up 1 position short. What it would be here tonight if he was able to go ahead and win here tonight at Rockingham. Wouldn't have to worry about going to Martinsville next week. What a feeling that would be for Jeffrey Souza. He also has not picked up a win this season. So it would be Souza's first win of the season. 13 to go. 13 to go. Michael Trevarthen, who was the dominating car all day long, right there he is, hunting down the race leader, but there is just not enough time left here tonight. Trevarthen will unlap himself by the end of this race, but will not have enough time, I don't think, to even advance his position unless one of these drivers come to pit road. Sean Single picking up a spot there on the number 8 of Zach Mitchell. That's the battle back here for the 11th spot. Single still turning in rather fast times. There's Cole Day in the picture frame. He's running 7th. Next time by, Jeffrey Souza is going to see the double high 5. It'll just be 10 more times around when he comes out of turn number 4 this time by. There he gets it this time out of 4. 10 laps to go for Jeffrey Souza. Max Terrill is starting to pull him in here. It was a 2-second deficit. Now it's down to a 1.1 second deficit for Max Terrill. And Terrill's going to have some, mirror full here this time down to the 3. Here comes the number 2. So Michael Trevarthen going to get on by Max Terrill there. Terrill going to lose about 1/10 of a second that time down to 1 and 2. Or sorry, down to 3 and 4. Nine to go. Brandon Feeney coming to pit road. He can't last any longer. We'll continue to monitor the battle for the race lead between Souza and Max Terrill. James Skelton is a little bit farther back, about 4.5 seconds back off the race top spot. Trevarthen is about to unlap himself, but that's not going to do him any good. Souza just allows him to go straight to the inside here. So that will put Michael Trevarthen in 8th, back on the lead lap. 7 laps remaining. Under 1 second now for Max Terrill. Does he have enough time? Will he be able to get there? Down Thunder Alley one more time for Max Terrill. Hear him very ginger back to the throttle. Almost has to wait till corner exit to get fully back to the throttle. They're pulling away from James Skelton. Skelton's going to be in his own battle with Ethan Troutman. Troutman has Sean Single right there. Also, though, that's not a battle for position. There's Brandon Feeney. Feeney just came out of pit road. He's got 4 Mr. Feelgoods. 5 to go this time. 5 to go and a half a second deficit. Did Max save anything? It's sort of like the Jaws theme song right now. Four to go. We'll match the door number on the race leader of Souza. 4 to go with a chance to go to the final 4 right here. What would you do for a chance to win a championship? To at least have the opportunity to be put into that final 4. We're going to find out if Max Terrielt's willing to give a old chrome horn here. 3 to go. 3 to go and 3/10 of a second is the deficit. Max going to sail it off into turn number 1. Ryan O'Donnell right there. He's not a factor in tonight's race. Ryan in the orange glad. Number 98, Turbo Dork Radical Paints is running 12, 2 laps down right now. Popsicle sticks, wind them up, throw them up. 2 to go and 2/10 of a second. Max will be there by the white flag. This one's about to get really interesting. White flag is flying. Here comes Max Terrielt to the outside with a run down the front straightaway. Final lap here tonight. Max trying to work the outside. It might be the only way he gets around the number 4. Souza got to stick it on the inside. A little sideways wiggle. Here comes Max. Final time into turn number 3. Will he get to the bumper? Souza sails it off, trying to carry the momentum. Out of turn number 4. Drag race. Here comes Max with a run. Not going to be good enough at the line. It'll be the number 4 of Jeffrey Souza picking up his first win of the season, and he will go to the final 4. He'll punch his ticket right here tonight at the Rock. It'll be Souza, it'll be Terrielt, then it'll be James Skelton just beating out the Wendy's Biggie Bag by .07 at the line. So Skelton will finish 3rd, Troutman will finish 4th, Richard Murdoch will finish 5th. DJ Anderson was 6th. Cole Day was 7th across the line here tonight. Michael Trevarthen 8th. Chris Hammett 9th. And Shanika Single will finish into the 10th spot. So what a time to decide to pick up your first win of the season. There's your race winner. The Stand Analyzer Racing. Souza Media number 4. Rolling down here to victory lane. So those are your unofficial standings on the right-hand side with Jeffrey Souza picking up the big win here tonight. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back here with your Liquid Motley post-race show tonight here at Rockingham.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Welcome back here, race fans. The Checkered Flag Auto Supply Scrambler Series. These drivers for Red Light Racing just put on one heck of a show here tonight at the Rockingham Speedway in the Mickey's Tax Service 100. It came down to drivers trying a two pit stop strategy. Some of these drivers just taking a one pit stop strategy. Drivers running out of fuel. Drivers running out of tires. Drivers running out of real estate off turn number 2. We've seen it all night long. Boy, what a race this one came down to with this next-gen Cup car. A good race here tonight at the Rock, let's just say that. But what do you say we head down trackside here tonight to talk to some of the drivers that were battling for a chance to get into the Final Four? Because one of these drivers has done it. They have punched their ticket. Let's head down trackside now and talk to the driver of car number 4 of Jeffrey Souza. Jeff, you do it here tonight as you pick up your first win of the season and you punch your ticket into the Final Four.
Yeah, I mean, this is great. You know, the season has not been anything of what we wanted. It's been really up and down, but coming into tonight, I did a bunch of laps yesterday and went back and forth with my crew chief, Brandon, and I said, look, this is one we had circled since the start of the season that if we get to this round, we're going to be in contention for this win here. And damn, we were right up there the whole race and obviously was able to close it out.
For a lot of this race, you looked like you were maybe the 3rd, 4th fastest car. What changed there on that long run here tonight?
Yeah, I honestly think if that first run, if we could have gotten by Richard a little bit quicker, that first run, which I know he was good and it was so tough to pass here, I think we could have probably contended with Michael, but once he came down that first stop on 30-something, I was like, this is it. And then we went into fuel save to make it to halfway, and then once we came off pit road, I looked at the times. I ran like 10 laps really easy and took care of the tires, and then long run I was able to make it and had tires compared to that first run.
So now that you pick up the win here at the Rock, Martinsville was next week. You don't have to go to the paperclip now and try to be the Superman to try and put yourself into the playoffs. What's your mindset? Do you already flip the script now and start turning laps at Phoenix?
Considering Phoenix is, I would say, one of my worst tracks on the sim, doesn't matter what car we go there with, I've seen the struggle. And 2, that I'll be in Daytona next week. Yes, 100% I will be working on Phoenix for the rest of this week because I don't care about Martinsville. It doesn't matter where I finish now.
Well, you can hear it in his voice. He's happy, race fans, that he doesn't have to go to Martinsville to race that Arca Menards machine as he's locked himself in now. But, Jeff, before we let you go, let's roll this red carpet out. Let's hear all these people back home that make everything possible here for you.
Yeah, I just got to thank everybody over at Triad Racing. You know, they do so much weekly basis to, it doesn't matter if it's this car, what car we're running in, we're working on setups, we're working on getting each other better drivers. Brandon Pierce, my spotter, man. There's been a couple races this season. He went through a move. He wasn't able to be there. And, you know, having his voice up on the box, coaching me through these races, paying attention to that fuel number, and some of these races where fuel has been that key factor of them has been huge. And obviously, Souza Media, Stant Analyzer, all our sponsors over here that continue week after week to just put their time in and put their money in on us. And we're going to race for a championship in a couple weeks now.
There you hear it, Jeffrey Souza. He's locked himself in. That Stant Analyzer number 4 will be in Phoenix with a chance to battle for a championship. Who's the other 3 drivers that will join him? We'll have to wait till next week because there's nobody else that's locked in and safe. What we can tell you, though, is, well, Souza crosses the line first. Who does that leave in second? That leaves the number 42 of Max Darrell. Max, you rallied late in this one. You were right there. What more did you need tonight to take that win away?
I needed a better pit stop. I slid through my box and lost maybe a second and a half, and that was That was all that made a difference in the end. That's where I lost the race.
You talk about that. I'm looking at that right now, and you spent, it looks like it's telling me, this may be a little dated now, it's telling me you were a second and a half slower from the time you entered your pit box to the time you exited. How crucial is it to not slide into your pit box or overshoot your pit box? Because then it kind of puts you in that box there where now you're trying to run gun-ho.
Yeah, that's the proof. When they say you can win or lose a race on pit road, that's what you get when you make a mistake, or that's what you get when you hit it just right. So that's the difference of less than a tenth of a second at the end. That's partly why Jeffrey won the race. So he did a good job, and yeah, that's still second again, but good position if we're not going to win to be second for next week.
Yeah, that's going to put you in a pretty good position because you're the best of the rest at this point. Now, of course, we know that Jeffrey Souza will take that first spot into the Final Four, so that is taken. What do we do here when we go to Martinsville? Do you try and run a good, consistent race, or do you go out there and want to win that one to lock yourself and guarantee yourself a spot?
I just need a shot at the end of the race. It can unfold many different ways. At Martinsville, we've had many cautions sometimes, and then we've had one or two cautions and long green flag runs. I just want to be near the front at the end to have a shot, and well, we want a clean race. I mean, this is obviously, we don't want everything decided on the wrecks like we see in real life. We can do better than that, so that's what I'm hoping for next week.
Well, you did a great job here tonight as we ran 100 caution-free laps. Everybody very mindful of each other and what's going on here with the series and the championship. So a great run by yourself, Max, a great run by the entire series, as I know you're a big advocate for green flag racing, and it happened here tonight. We look forward to seeing you next week at Martinsville. Maybe we can get some green flag runs there at Martinsville like we know the series can. But before we let you go, who's back home north of the border here tonight?
Yep, as always, my fiance, my friend Max, and my dad, regular watchers of Turn 3 Network. Shout out to Josh, James, and Richard for running this league on Monday nights. And shout out to iRacing for bringing back the Gen 4 cars. So hopefully we can scrap those next-gen joke of a race car and race some real cars that handle and need some input to be fast and have good racing.
There you hear it. Max Harriot says the car is not that great, but he will still pick up a second-place finish here tonight. Congratulations to Max on a podium run. And, well, the man who didn't look like he had a very fast machine here tonight, but, James, you hit the strategy right on the head, and you were able to nurse this number 86 across the line here tonight for a third-place finish.
Yeah, Roger, you hit it there. I was pretty much junk. Qualified really bad. This is one of my favorite, or if not my favorite track. Last time we came here in the next gen car, I won the race. I was feeling pretty good. I didn't really get any practice in. It kind of threw me for a loop because a lot of guys were running the bottom through 1 and 2. I ran the top, and then we get in the race, and Single and Mitchell run at the top. I had no clue how far we can go in fuel, so I was just riding, and then I came a lap short, and it just saved the last run. And I looked at the stats a few days ago, and I had three third place finishes in a row, and this is my fourth, so that has to be a record for me. So at least I'm consistent, but was I good? Absolutely not.
So what you're saying is you're not even the bridesmaid.
No, but right now I'm okay with third, just because I got a little bit of a buffer going into Martinsville, and just need to run a smart race and just be around the top 5, and I'll move on.
The last time we saw the series go to Martinsville was for a championship race. You were one of the drivers in that championship 4, and that came down to a rock'em sock'em boppers kind of race for a championship. Now, next week, it's not for the championship, but it's a chance to go to the championship. How do you expect next week to really unfold?
I think with the amount of drivers we got out right now that we're a little bit lower than usual. I really thought we'd have a lot of cautions tonight. Actually, I think we'll get some good runs in next week. So I just got to make sure I'm good on the long run. Just be smart on restarts. Last year, or whenever we ran the championship race, I was the fourth best car to start it, and I kind of figured out line, and I thought it was the best car at the end, and chaos happened at the end. So I just got to be smart. Hopefully I can find some time to put some laps down just to give me some confidence going into next week.
Well, we hope you can get some left-hand turns turned at Martinsville and get your confidence up and get ready for next week's race. But hey, while we have you, how's the old fishing boat looking?
It's doing decent. I've been working at my rental house I'm on 44 days right now. I'm about to go over there right now, put a few hours in, so it'll be a late night. I'm gonna try to go on the boat tomorrow. I got a few tournaments this week if I can get this stupid rental house done and on the market. So we'll see.
Well, we hope you're able to turn laps, and we hope you're able to enjoy your boat a little bit this week. But before we let you go, who makes it all possible back home for you to even have a boat?
Thanks. Got to thank the wife for always letting me do this on Monday nights. Josh for everything he does, putting this league together. Richard, you, Roger, for putting up with us. Mickey's Tax Service, they came on board for the race tonight. All the drivers that are still showing up. Like I said, I did not expect a green flag all the way to the end. I'd never practiced, how far we can go. All the fans that were watching, and I'll see everybody next week.
There it is, James Skelton, driver of the Flowertown Animal Hospital, number 86 here tonight. He will come away with a third-place finish, which is good because, well, he was pretty much stuck around the 8th, 9th, 10th position here tonight. So late in this one, he'll rally for a good finish here, and that will set himself up for a good spot headed into Martinsville. That's right. We go from the Rock, one of the toughest tracks, bumpiest tracks we have with the next-gen car, to now next week we will head to the Martinsville Speedway. The Arca Menards, or the Generation 4 NASCAR Cup cars is what we will have. It'll be the 2-cent single 150 from the Martinsville Speedway, and that's where all the cards will be thrown down on the table, and we will see which drivers will get themselves in to the final race of the season for a chance to go for the championship. We already know Jeffrey Souza's there. Max Terriel's sitting good. James Skelton is sitting good. Everybody else is going to be right there on the bubble headed into next week. Couple drivers will head in with a must-win next week, like Sean Butler. He will need to win next week to get himself in to Phoenix. So it's going to be a wild one because last time we were at Martinsville, Sean Butler was in the championship 4, and he was able to pick up that championship. So anything could happen when we head to Martinsville. The problem is, race fans, we all have to wait 7 days. 7 long days before we can find out who those final 4 drivers will be. So with that being said, we thank you tonight for tuning in to watch the virtual race here at the Rockingham Speedway, the Mickey's Tax Service 100 here tonight for the Checkered Flag Auto Supply Scrambler Series presented by Red Light Racing. So with everybody at Mickey's Tax Service, everybody with Checkered Flag Auto Supply, everybody at Red Light Racing, and all of us here from the Turn 3 Racing Network, my name is Roger Muth, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's show here from Rockingham, where Jeffrey Souza picks up the win. We hope you all stay safe, and we'll see you next week at Martinsville for the 2-cent single 150.